When we talk about hunger, when we talk about the Forsyth Backpack Program, when we talk about the many different things that children experience that we know of and we try to help out, specifically hunger, that's just the tip. That's just what you see. That's just what you get to experience. That's what you get to see from those children. But that is what you don't see. You know, that's what happens when I get home. That's what happens when I wake up. That's what happens when I go to sleep. That's what happens every single day I walk around my neighborhood. That's what you don't get to see. That's what you don't get the taste of. You don't. But that tip is the part that everyone is already so taken back by because they know that it's something that is terrible and no one should experience. But in order to tell you about my life, I got to start by talking about life as a kid. That's me right there. Handsome little dapper fella. No, that's my sister Chanel, my brother Anthony, and that's me. The reason why this portion of my life is really important is because this wasn't the most difficult in my eyes, but this is really when the leadership idea in my brain started to click, that I knew that I needed to become a leader, but a servant leader, not for the world, not for my community, not for other people, but for my family. Probably around 5 or 6. My dad and one of his, he's addicted to drugs and he suffers from alcoholism. My dad is currently incarcerated. You will not see him at graduation. That's a good thing and a bad thing. And he told her that if she left, he was not gonna just blow her head off, but he would kill us too. And he pointed at us just so she knew how serious he was. In that moment, I knew that no second, no hour, nothing is guaranteed to me in this life. Not even as a child, not even from my own parents. They're willing to create me, and just like that, he's willing to take me out too. So at this time, I realized that I had to be there. I did. I had to play a more active role in the life of my mother, in the life of my father, my brother, my sister. Even as the youngest, I knew at that time that nobody was gonna do it for me. Growing up, my brother and I, we would pray for Superman, we would. We would pray that there was a real Superman that would sweep down and that would somehow, some way save us. Because surely if there was a Superman, we fit the criteria to be saved, I promise. And unfortunately, I realized there was no Superman. So it was heartbreaking, but it was real. So my life as a teen revolved around me, I guess, trying to get myself ready to be that Superman. I could work. I started working when I was around 15 or 16. And again, I left foster care. Sometimes caseworkers kind of stop paying attention. Sometimes they let you stay with folks that aren't really approved for you to stay with. And to be honest, my stint in foster care was no better than my stint at my own house with my parents. You know, that's worse. You're in an environment where people don't care. They tell you they don't care. They're pretty transparent about that. And they let you know that they receive an income for keeping you, but they don't love you. So I started working, dropped out of school, started cutting yards, you know, started working at the labor pool. And from that, I learned how to speak to people a lot. Spoke to many different people, all different races, all different everywhere, every different places. And with it, many different people helped me and provided me opportunities during that time that they didn't have to. 16, I started working at McDonald's. At McDonald's, I learned the difference between some of the things that we learned in class, coercive leadership, you know, manipulative leadership, that type of thing. I was a hard worker not because I cared about McDonald's, I was a hard worker because I cared about my family and I didn't want to be on the street anymore. Nor I lived there. When I would get off, I would sleep in the crew room, you know. When I would wake up, my boss said, "Hey, Will, I need you on fries." And I said, cool. With it, from being there for so long, I would always go to different apartment complexes and ask those managers, "Hey, can I get an apartment? Do you have an apartment for me? You're a kid. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. I'm going to call the police." I didn't want that because I didn't want to be back in the system. So I would go back to McDonald's. But eventually, one person helped me. And she gave me an apartment as a kid, 16. And she said, as long as you keep your rent paid, as long as you don't show out, you know, you don't bring too much attention, we'll be good. And that's what I did. I went to work, walked 4 miles to McDonald's, 4 miles from McDonald's every single day. Later on, I became a manager at about 18. And it was around this age, the most important part about my life around this age is that I found out that through my labor, through my service, I could change their lives. I could. Because just like that, I got us a house. I got us a place that we could lay our head. It was hard, but I could do it. I could. But my sister, she was already older, and like I say, we all do different things with our experiences. So she did something different with hers. This is also the age and the time of my life when my mother assured my brother and I that unfortunately, she did not love us. And, as I said, back when the dad tried to kill us, which wasn't the last time, but that was pretty pivotal. But when my mom did that, and I love my mother dearly to this day. Those of you who know me know that I am a mother's boy. I will hurt for that woman. At that moment, I realized if she doesn't love me, if my dad wants to kill me, and if my brother and sister aren't in a place where they can help me, who can? I got to do it. I have to do it because I refuse to die. I refuse to just lay down and disappear. If I do, then you will know me before I go because you'll hear my cry. You will. You will. You'll remember me. And with it, I don't, even now I think like, why would I do that? But it's because I love my dad, okay? I do. I love that man dearly. I love him. And I know that his life was very, very terrible, just like mine was, except he didn't have the correct leadership and the correct people around him, unfortunately, to steer him in the right direction in his life. Helping others. Why is helping others important? These are just some examples of many different things that I got to participate in, marches, trips to New Orleans. I helped create the Black Male Achievers Organization at Tallahassee Community College. So with the help of Louis Dilbert, he's somewhere in this picture, we created this to try to prioritize the education, the opportunities, the resources, everything that we have on campus, the mentors for those individuals of color, specifically males. Because across any board, across any statistic, those are the ones that really don't make it. And like my father, if we don't catch them now, and if we don't catch them while we're young, then unfortunately, their life will be my father's, and their children's life will be mine. And that's what we don't want. Now, how did I get here? I got here because of servant leaders. People like Cherry Alexander. She was the librarian at TCC. And at the time at McDonald's, I was a hard worker, and like I said, so my leadership did not value me. They were exploiting me. They knew that I was homeless. They knew that I had very bad circumstances. When I told them I was gonna go back to school, my boss set me down, operations manager, which is pretty high at McDonald's, an area supervisor, a store manager. They set me down and said, Will, you're doing so great here. You're doing our training across the different counties and the regions. We just got your college reimbursement form in. You might want to get your priorities straight. How are you going to do all of these? We don't want you to diminish what you're doing here, to be selfish. In my life, I've learned to shut the hell up. I have. And that was the perfect opportunity to shut the hell up. I'm going to table this, I'm going to run these stores, and I'm going to get back to McDonald's. And I thank you so much for the opportunity, because without McDonald's, I wouldn't even be here. And I went back to doing what I know how to do. But I also kept going to school. Cindy Ross. Cindy Ross saw a McDonald's manager and a law clerk and turned him into a health inspector. And it makes sense once you do the math. But she saw that, and I did not. But she believed in me. And Debbie saw the McDonald's guy, the law clerk, the health inspector, and turned him into a state regulator. And gave me the opportunity to regulate and influence regulatory codes for housing, apartment complexes, restaurants, all over the state of Florida. That was a great opportunity. And that's me when I graduated from FAMU with my mama. She worked security at the hospital in Tallahassee. We gave her a certificate of appreciation because without her, I wouldn't be here. The most recent superstar on this list is the incomparable Natasha Gore. And I said, hey, my name is William Hawks. This is my booklet. I'm sorry I'm on my lunch break, but I'm really interested in your school. Can you tell me about the sustainability program? Do you have any information about it? Natasha said, no, I don't know about sustainability, but I know about the MA program in management. I know about the School of Business. And I told Natasha, well, unfortunately, you don't know me because I'm not business. I'm poli-sci and law. And with it, business would be surely a route to my failure. And she said, no, this program is designed for your curriculum load and for what you've learned so far in the transfer to, work over here. And I left there and I looked up the program, and the rest is history. I'm here because of her. And, and if the world had a lot more Natasha Gores and Deborah's and Cindy, Walt, and Cherry, a lot of people like me won't be my father. It's just plain and simple. That's my servant leadership, folks. That's my life. That's how I got here.